Hello, everyone. Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com, and this has been a very strong market. And I'm telling you guys, the reason we continue to march higher is the sentiment is completely offsides. It doesn't matter where I look. Investors' intelligence, the bulls aren't over 60% yet. AAII, the bears have increased for the past 3 weeks while bulls have decreased, and there's a massive amount of bears to bulls. NAAIM, after almost being at 100% 3 weeks ago, it fell all the way to 81 last week. This week, 86. CNN Greed and Fear Index, I don't know where it's at today, but yesterday, neutral. The put call ratio, nowhere near complacent. It's low, but it's not complacent yet. It needs to be down. The equity put call ratio, I need it below 0.5. Then I start looking at a potential, maybe the market wants to top. But it doesn't matter where I look, this market has got too many bears. The IWM still has it's the largest short position for large speculators and small speculators in the past year combined. They're completely offsides. So everyone is offsides, and that's the reason why you're not seeing a seasonal pullback this September. It could happen coming up, but it's why we really haven't seen one yet, and why I don't believe we're going to see anything more than a 3 to 5% correction because there's just too many bears. That being said, listen, it's been great. And the long-term portfolio, I want to remind you guys, in case you're new to this video, we started the buying process here, and then we started the loading process here, and we were all in after this day at the lows in the market in the long-term portfolio. So we've been 100% long since that bottom in the long-term portfolio. I still have not raised any cash there, and I'm not looking to sell anything from that long-term portfolio buy. And in fact, I only plan on buying sell-offs and crashes and dips into about 2034, 2035. Then we have the quarterly portfolio. It's never going to kill it, but it beat the SPY last quarter by 3x. And this quarter so far, if I round down the quarterly portfolio results and round up the SPY, as of the closing bell on September 11th, it's 6% versus 3%. So we're doubling the SPY there. But those aren't big enough returns for me. My big returns come on the swing position side. And guys, this is going to be a misser's market because there's just way too much going on. And intraday this past week, the insanity of Chinese runners. I mean, there is just way too much going on. You're going to miss trades. If I don't get filled on certain buy stops, there's nothing I can do about it. GFI, I had a buy stop, but it gapped up on me on this day, and look at its performance since 46%. XPEV also did the same thing to me. It failed, but initially there was a 17% move without me. And just a reminder, right now, I'm all in on every trade. If I get a new signal tonight, 100% of my buying power goes into it. If I get 2 new signals tonight, which I did, well, they're not really signals, but I'm going to take them anyway. Whatever's available buying power, 50% of that available buying power goes into one stock. The other 50% goes in the other. If there's 3 stocks, it's 33.3%. And that can lead to a lot of long positions in a market like this because I like to trim and trail. And following today's session, I'll be doing the trimming and trailing. My largest swing position is in Tesla, and I'm long. You can see the white arrow, and I'm long from on the swing portfolios, on the swing account. I'm long TSLL. Well, I took some profits today at the market, 10%. And come Monday morning, I'll be taking another 10% off after today's 15% gain. But I'll still be long TSLL. Another name I'm taking profits on is IONL. You can see via IONQ when I went long right here. And in 3 days, you can see what IONL has done. So I'm going to be taking another 10% at the market at the open on Monday. That's going to leave me with a core IONL and TSLL position, but still those profits then will be used for whatever triggers, if anything triggers on Monday. But I have other stocks that I got to take profits on. QUBX filled today from QUBT. Now I'm long originally QUBT from back here, but I just bought QUBX here, triggered and filled today. And after today's gain of 14%, I'm going to take 10% off at the market. Oh, you're winning? You never have any losses? No, guys, I'm trying to tell you, we always have losses. BSX was a recent long position. It fully failed on an end-of-day basis, negative 4.5%. FOA failed on me here intraday, and on an end-of-day basis, it's down 6%. So there are losses, and I thought FOA would be a big winner, but BSX, I really didn't have a whole lot of expectations with this one, but took it anyway. Immediately failed after initially working. That's it. That's my get out card. I now take all of that capital raised from FOA and BSX and put it into the new long position, which, QUBX is actually here. Oh, that's awesome. So QUBX after today's session is only up 10% because it triggered and filled above this high. So it's not a big gain, but I like to take profits along the way when stocks move up. But that's how this market has been. But at the same time, it's a misser's market for me. GFI, I missed this. This was initially in my squeeze scan right here. Why didn't I buy it? On this day, I told everybody in the chat room, because it's a gold stock and they're not leaders. Whoops. Screw that up, didn't I? PGen, why didn't I buy it? We're going into negative seasonality of September, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and pass on this signal. So I passed on it, up 60%. Misser's market. Once again, XPEB didn't fill. Then there's stocks like App. When App did this off the 9 EMA, I was like, well, the market's so strong, I'm going to go ahead and cheat it since this is a leader. But then as it came and did this one off the 21 EMA, I was like, well, because of September seasonality and because the previous buy attempt of mine didn't work, I'm not going to take it. Whoops. Huge miss and a major leader right here. This one stings. And then there was RKLB. RKLB, I'm still long a small, tiny, insignificant piece from back here, but I tried to add to the position with RKLX here, failed this day, but then the very next day got even a better signal and brought it up to everybody in the chat room off the 50 SMA. But once again, I didn't take it because I was worried about September seasonality, and whoops, another regret. Once again, guys, this is a misser's market. You're going to make mistakes in a market like this. And then, of course, open. Wow. When it was basing here, I told everybody, this thing's going to 8. Probably going to 10. Whoops. Didn't take it. Look at the gain on at least a piece of the position that I could still have. It's a misser's market. Then there's one that I don't have on here because Telechart version 7 doesn't have it. When I switch to version 25, I'll show it to you guys if it's still there. But Fannie Mae, I posted on, I believe it was August 27th in the chat room. Boy, this stock is coiled and looks like it could have a major move higher. Then I forget about it, and whoops, it's 35% higher. Then there's BMNR. On this day, Kathy Wood buys it in 3 funds. Not a huge position, but she bought it in 3 funds. She also did BLSH that day, but I have no interest in BLSH. The very next day, I'm now looking for a hammer candle. I get one. There's the entry above the high of the day, 44.50. Guess what I forgot to do that day? Scan my Kathy Wood IPO scan. So I missed this trade. There's 25% gain in a few days, and I've missed it. So that's the market we're in. We call it a misser's market. But the biggest regret that I have right now is ATCH. So when I made my video lesson for everyone on this day, I showed everyone ATCH. Then I showed everyone ATCH on this day, September the 5th. This is a great setup. Max Green Bop, big volume surge, Plenty of Max Green Bop before that. I don't like this, but from here to here, this is pure perfection. Consolidates on below average volume, multiple pocket pivot point signals. Why didn't I go long? Because 20-cent stocks haven't been working lately. But this is a chart I told everybody I really like. Didn't take it. And after hours, it's up even more. And I believe it's now up 120%. So it's a misser's market. It hasn't been going smooth, but at the same time, it isn't going bad because, as I've shown you, we're still taking profits. We still have winners, but it feels very overwhelming. Now, that being said, the ideal portfolio on my end is 5 stocks, 20% of capital each, or 40% of capital each to be 200% long those 5 stocks, or 10 stocks, 200% capital long those 10 stocks. Currently, I am actively long 17 names, and I have another 2. How are you managing this many positions? It's easy for me on Maui because I'm on an end of day basis. The one time frame I can't do is intraday. Guys, I posted my results in 2022 when the market was down over 20% to 25%. My day trading return was right around, I believe, 25%. And I posted my profit and loss chart every single day during that year on Twitter, and it shows the account growth, but it just is, it's a lifestyle. Getting up at 3:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, it's just not going to work for me. So I've moved on from day trading, but the swing position account is where the big gains happen. So this is where I like to focus. This is where the big gains come from. And right now, there's a lot of misses. It's okay. I actually just lost my train of thought. I can't remember where I'm going. All I know is that we're going to miss trades. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I am long a lot of names, but still, I always tell everybody, if you're really risk averse, 20 stocks, 5% of your capital in each. I still have less than 20 stocks. I have 2 new long positions for Monday I'm going to give it a try on. And if they work, I'll be long 19 stocks. So I'm still in my 20 or under. But make no mistake about it, the ideal portfolio is 5 stocks, 20% each. And I would love to be 200% long one stock. I just haven't gotten that set up, especially since the end of July. So what I'm taking on Monday, if it triggers for me, the first one, AFRM. AFRM is a recent earnings winner. Big earnings and sales growth, continued strong earnings and sales growth expected for the next 4 quarters. I have a reversal right off the 21 EMA. Let me go ahead and make it visible here for everybody. So it's reversing right off the 21 EMA after being an earnings winner. This is my entry. The plan is to get long above 84.06, and I'll be risking to the low a day, 79.39. Now, if AFRM has a leverage product, I'll be taking that trade. But from what I know, AFRM doesn't have one. But if it does, I could be wrong. You might be watching this video lesson being go, you're an idiot. AFRM has a 2x leverage. Well, I don't know, and I'll have to look at it. But if AFRM has a leverage product, I'll be using that one over AFRM. But earnings winner, pullback, big earnings and sales growth, hammer candle off the 21. I'm taking this trade. So that's the first one. I'm going to put half of my available buying power in. The next one is MP. MP is bouncing right off the 50 SMA. It kind of has an open body candle on this move. So I'm going to take MP to have an amazing risk reward level, just like AFRM. These all have over 4-to-1 reward to risk ratios. I'm going to get long MP above the high of the day at 64.18, and my final risk will be the low of this pullback area. So it's going to be 61.40. But that's going to give me amazing reward to risk ratio, especially if MP can get to the old highs. One of those 17 stocks I'm long is LEU. I recently went long. It's really not doing anything, but at the same time, it's not failing. So MP will join LEU in my portfolio. But if MP triggers, fills, and then fails, it's going to be a small loss. Plus, I don't have a lot of buying power. So I kind of hope this video lesson kind of helps guide you to the craziness that is this market right now. The biggest takeaway I have is that this is a misser market, and I need to ignore quote bearish seasonality in August and September when the market is this strong and the bears are so, if the bulls, I should say, are so offsides. If we were up near this high going into August and September with bulls much higher than bears on the AAII survey, maybe it's a different story. So a lot of lessons to learn on my end. Hopefully it can help you guys on your end, but MP and AFRM above the highs of the day will trigger and fill for me on Monday, and I'll be risking to the recent lows. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everyone.